Hi guys, welcome back. First of all, I want to say I'm sorry about the hair. I just had a shower, so it's still wet, so it looks kind of bad. But I'm going to, from now on, I'm going to start off by telling a little bit of my backstory of why I'm even doing this channel. First of all, I'm doing this channel because doing the research on the crimes and doing the videos keeps my mind busy. And there's a very specific reason as to why I have to keep my mind busy. Another reason why I'm doing this video is because the videos and the channel is because I'm hoping that one day I can make a little bit of money off of it, and also just bring some awareness about a specific thing. And this has to do with my backstory. I want to make a little bit of money of it because well, I'll explain that in a minute. Well, so my backstory. Um, First of all, I'm a mother to 6 kids, 4 girls and 2 boys. I only have 5 living kids left because on December the 28th of 2020, which wasn't very long ago, my son committed suicide. And and he did it by shooting himself in the head. And I'm the one that found him. So, the main reason I'm telling you guys this is because in some of the videos that I do, it mentions suicide, and I make it emotional. If things to do with guns, I get emotional sometimes. So I just wanted to explain why, in case I ever do that. Now, the reason I want to make money off of this is because I want to start a foundation in my son's name that will help families. Everybody thinks about the expense of the funeral, but what they don't think about is maybe the cleanup after something like that. You have to pay to have it cleaned. And they don't think about the fact that sometimes family just needs to take time off work and they still have to pay bills. So sometimes they don't get that luxury or that need met to be able to take time off work. So I'm hoping that one day these videos may do some good, and I may be able to start that to help families in this situation. So that's my story, guys. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I need to do this. And that's why sometimes I may get emotional in the videos. Just if anybody's out there that's watching, that's having thoughts of suicide, it's somewhere that the pain don't go away. It just goes to the family members. It just passes on, so it don't go away. Just go get help, because it's out there. Hi guys, I'm back. My clip that I filmed about my story, I will be posting that at the beginning of every one of my videos. That way I get my story out there, even if it's the first time watching for somebody in a later video, they're gonna know my story. But today's story is gonna be about the Zodiac Killer. So it shouldn't be too long of a video. There is quite a bit of information, but there's also not a whole lot of information to give because this is an unsolved case. So we don't know who the killer is, his name, we just know what he did. or what she did, because they've never solved this or found the killer in this case. So, all right, guys, if you're ready, we'll get started. Who was the Zodiac Killer? What is the Zodiac Killer's story? Okay, well, first of all, he is actually, you know how the press usually gives serial killers a name? Well, he actually gave himself a name in letters and postcards that he would send to the press. He would always sign after about, I think it happened in his second letter. I'll give more detail on that after I check it later as I go through the details of the story. But he signed it as the Zodiac Killer. So that's how he signed it. So that's how he got his name. Now, in his letters, he said that he had 37 victims, but the investigators could only tie 7 victims to him. And he operated in Northern California in the 1960s through the 1970s. So we'll go ahead and we'll jump right into to what happened and what the serial killer did. Victim number 1 and victim number 2. First of all, there is going to be, there is some graphic detail and things in this. Like always, it's a crime, so there is going to be graphic details. So there is a warning on this, a viewer discretion advised warning for that content. But now the first, and also I will not, in any of my videos, I'm not going to name the victims' names, just in case the family doesn't want their family's names mentioned, because we don't want to offend anybody. Okay, so the first and the second victim, okay, of the Zodiac Killer. So they were a 17-year-old male and a 16-year-old female. Okay, now both of these victims died. Neither one of these actually survived. There was, in all 7 of his that was tied to him, there was 7 survivors out of those victims. But we'll go into what happened with the first and the second victims of the Zodiac Killer. Now, the first and the second victim, their murders took place on December 20th of 1968. That's my birthday, December 20th. So that's kind of eerie. Check out Kiwi. Kiwi, you gonna say hi today? Are you gonna say hi today, Kiwi? Say hello. No, you're not gonna talk. You never talk. Never. When I want you to talk, you never talk. He never talks when I want him to. But when I don't want him to, he talks all the time. Okay, so back to the story. On December 20th of 1968, on Lake Herman Road, just inside of Benesis, I can't really pronounce it. It's spelled Benicia, city limits. It's just inside that city limits. The couple was pulled over about 10:15 that night at a turnaround spot that's known locally as an area that young couples go to. Now, this couple... Kiwi, are you talking? Are you talking, Kiwi? Okay, now the couple was on their first date, and this turnaround spot, it's known locally as like a place that the couples would go just to kind of spend some time. They nicknamed the road Lover's Lane, so it was one of the areas that all the locals went to. Now they parked about 10:15 that night, 10:15 p.m. Now, it's after the crews investigated, it seems that the male was getting out of the vehicle, and the Zodiac Killer, when he was halfway out of the vehicle, shot him in the head, and that killed him. And it looks like that the female had got out of the car and started running away. They found her 28 feet away from the vehicle, and she had been shot in the back A total of, let me just double check. I think it was 5 times, but I'm going to double check because I don't want to tell you wrong. As always, I'm going to get my notes out here and look on them. Yeah, she was shot 5 times in the back, and she was found 28 feet from the car. Now, the bodies was found by at about 11 p.m. that night by a lady that didn't live too far from there. So the investigators came, and it was from the Solano County Sheriff's Department. They came and they investigated the scene, but they didn't have any leads at all. So that was the first and the second victims. Third and the fourth victims. Are you talking? Are you actually going to talk? Okay, so the third and fourth victim was a 19-year-old male and a 22-year-old female. Now, this took place on July 4th, 1969 at Blue Rock Springs Park in Vallejo. It's Vallejo. Vallejo? Okay. The victims parked, and the Zodiac Killer actually pulled up behind them. He shot at them 5 times. It hit, obviously, some of it hit them both. And he started walking back to his vehicle. Then he heard the victims moaning, and he come back and he shot them both once more. So the male survived. The female didn't survive. Now the male, he was able to describe what the Zodiac Killer looked like, and he described him as a white male with short, light brown, curly hair. And he described him as being about 5 feet, 8 inches tall, and about 195 to 200 pounds, and about 26 to 30 years old. So now they had a description of what the Zodiac Killer looked like. July 5th, the Zodiac Killer actually called into the police department and confessed to all 4 of those victims. He confessed to murdering all 4 of them. And he always called from a payphone. Now, investigators tried to trace where the call came from, and the investigation of the murders, there was still they had no leads. They had no clue who this was, who the killer was, or anything like that. Now on August the 1st would be when the presses got the first letters. So on August 1st, 1969, there was 3 almost identical letters sent to here's that Vallejo Times, the Vallejo Times Herald, and then the San Francisco Chronicle and the San Francisco Examiner. All 3 got letters. Now, in these letters, they were told that they needed to print these letters on their front page. Okay, so they was told that they needed to print these on the front page of the paper, and that if they didn't, that he would go around all weekend long and kill lone people, somebody by themselves, and he would keep doing that until he had 12 victims. Now, they didn't print it on the front page like they were instructed. However, the Zodiac didn't keep up to his threat. He did not go around killing people. And I'm actually going to, after the video is over, I'm going to post pictures of these letters so you'll be able to read what he wrote. He talked about, there was just a lot of crazy stuff about why he was doing the killings and things like that. Now, in his letters, one of the most important things about his letters was there was cryptic codes in the letter, and he told them if they broke the codes that they would learn his identity, that they would catch him. But they've never yet to this day still not been able to break those codes. The investigators that was investigating the case called out the killer, called out the Zodiac Killer, and told him that if he was really the one that was sending the letters, that he needed to send another letter or make a call, send another letter and give details about the murders that the public didn't know, because they didn't release all the information about the murders to the public. So he kind of called out the Zodiac Killer and just told him, hey, if this is you that's sending these letters, then I want proof. Just give me some details about the murder that the public don't know, that nobody knows. So on August 7th, 1969, another letter was received by the San Francisco Examiner. And it was in response to what the investigator said. And the Zodiac did actually give very graphic, specific details about the murder that hadn't been released. And this would be the first letter that would be signed the Zodiac Killer. So this is the specific letter that was where he gave himself a name. And sixth victim of the Zodiac Killer was a 20-year-old male and a 22-year-old female. Now, on September the 27th of 1969, the couple was having a picnic at Lake Berryessa on a small island that was connected by a sand pit to the Twin Oak Ridge. Now, the Zodiac Killer approached them with a gun, and he told them that he needed their money and their car, and he forced the male to tie up the female. And after he was done tying her up, he actually tied the male up. The Zodiac Killer did. Then he checked the female's ties to make sure they were tight enough to where she couldn't get away. So after he gave the Zodiac Killer his money and his car keys, then the Zodiac Killer actually... Huey, you're blocking the way, buddy. You're blocking the way, sir. They have to be able to see. Yes. What? Beep. 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 Okay, so we checked her ropes or her ties to make sure she was tied, and after they gave him the money and the keys to the car, he stabbed them in the back. Now, the male did survive, but the female did not. Are you talking? Are you talking now? Are you going to talk? Hello? Okay, so the male was stabbed 6 times, and the female was stabbed 10 times. So, like I said, the male survived, but the female didn't. Now, the Zodiac went to the couple's car, and on the door of the car, he actually, in a black felt tip marker, he actually put the dates, the places, or the dates and the locations of all 6 victims on the door of the car. So that was strange that he done that. I'm not sure why he did that, but that was strange that he done that. I just found that strange. Okay, so at 7:40 p.m. that night, the Zodiac Killer actually called into the Napa County Sheriff's Department, and he reported and confessed to those two victims. So it's almost like he's tantalizing or making fun of the police because they can't catch him. And they investigated this crime scene again and still no leads. So they're having a lot of trouble catching this guy. So the seventh and final victim that they could tie to the Zodiac Killer was a 29-year-old male. And what? Sorry, gotta get Kiwi. He's wanting to chew on things. Don't bite. Don't bite. That's bad. That's bad. 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 Beep. Beep. Beep beep beep. Beep. Beep beep. Beep. Beep beep beep. 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 Beep 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 beep. Okay, so the seventh victim. On October the 11th, 1969, the Zodiac Killer went and got a cab, and he had the cab driver to take him to, and this was in I just want to double check so that I'm not telling you wrong. Okay. So he took a cab, and this was in San Francisco. He took a cab to the intersection of Washington and Maple Streets. Okay, now this is where he shot the cab driver in the head. And there was 3 teenagers that was across the street and watched this happening, and they called during it happening and actually reported it. And later, the 3 teenagers actually was able to work with the police department and actually get a sketch of what the Zodiac Killer looked like. And I'll post a picture of that, a copy of that sketch. But they watched him shoot the cab driver in the head, and then he tore a piece of the cab driver's shirt off, and it was bloodied. And then he took his wallet, and then he left. Okay, so on October the 13th, this was 2 days after he murdered this guy, because the guy didn't make it. The cab driver didn't make it. On October 13th, the San Francisco Chronicle received another letter from the Zodiac Killer, and inside the envelope of this letter was that piece of the bloody shirt as proof that he actually committed this crime, and he confessed in this letter to killing this guy. So he sent in proof. That's why he took the shirt, or the piece of the shirt, the bloody piece of shirt, as proof that he done it. Now these letters, they continued throughout the end of the year of 1970, just different letters, and him confessing to different crimes that they may have never found the victims, or they just couldn't find anything to tie him. You know, he didn't just... So he confessed to 37 victims altogether, and these letters just became all cryptic code, and this case has remained open. It's never shut. I think it shut down once, and in 2004 it shut down, but then they reopened it, and I don't remember, I would have to double check what year that it actually reopened, but it did reopen. And they've tried to crack these codes, and they're still, yet to this day, still trying to crack these codes, and so they can close this case. It's never, they've had some suspects, but they've never actually found out who the Zodiac Killer is. There was something like 300 and some suspects altogether throughout the years, but none of them's been the actual Zodiac Killer. And the most haunting thing is this code that professionals can't crack. Like, there's several movies and books out there about this. There's several speculations. One man came forward and said he thought his father was the Zodiac Killer because the handwriting matched the letters, and his father looked like the hand sketched uh, picture that the three teenagers helped them, the police department, sketch out. But nothing's never been proven. They don't know. They just don't know. There's just no leads. There's no proof. They just really need to crack the codes if they can. I don't know that. I think that possibly the codes wasn't meant to be cracked and they're just fake codes, possibly, is why they can't. I don't know. That's just me guessing. Just let me know what you guys think in the comments below. You can actually watch some interviews from the victims that survived. If you go and look it up, you can find that online. There's just a lot of information out there, a lot of different interviews of like police and investigators and different things that you can go on and watch if you'd like to do that. This was just really interesting to me because of the fact of it wasn't solved in the cryptic codes. That was the most interesting thing to me. But you guys, as always, stay safe. Um, be careful because you never know who's out there and what they're thinking. And I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. You gonna say bye, Kiwi? Say bye. Bye. See you guys next time. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching.